Welcome everybody to the inaugural. No, I don't want to say that word. I'm gonna mess it up.
Inaugural?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I'm saying that. Isn't it inaugural?
I don't know the exact spelling.
All right, well then, welcome to the first ever episode of the Boxland Broadcast. Took me a second there. That's okay. I'm here. I'm your host Noah, and with me as always is my co-host, who's also a host, and arguably I'm the co-host. Who knows? It's a fucking wild ride, isn't it? This is Kyle. I'm Noah. Say hi to the folks, Kyle.
We're 35 seconds.
It's already changed.
My God.
This isn't the word.
That's the fastest it's gone from like...
And you know what? This is the best take yet.
Alright.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Are you sure about it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
well, that's good. You're not feeling extra... Nope. I gotta stop. I gotta just drink my coffee.
Anyhow, so let's
Jump right into it.
let's jump right into it and start off with some news.
What kind of news there, Kyle?
Well, let's talk about Spawn.
Never heard of him. Who is this?
You're such a dick. Anyhow, so
Listen, I gotta make this interesting.
So just catching up for everyone who might not
Because
know.
you're boring.
There's like, I think it's into the hundreds now, but it's like Spawn is a comic book sort of anti-hero.
Is it really 100?
I think it's over 100.
Wow.
Like, Spawn's been around for a long time.
I just don't hear enough, very much about him.
Yeah, well, it's not not a major like character. Or it's
well,
like it's not like a DC or a Marvel.
He's not one of your Venoms.
Yeah.
Pulling up a Tom Hardy.
And so the movie that I think came out in 97, no one liked it. It was also like before you could do like an R-rated movie. I mean, there were R-rated movies, but that was before you could do a R-rated superhero movie. And so it was PG, and it was not very good. So Todd McFarlane, who owns McFarlane Toys, I think he still is one of the writers for Spawn, I believe.
Like
who's like early on, yeah. He's like, screw it. So he's making a new movie that he's writing and directing, and I believe they're like McFarlane Toys is also self-funding it. They're working with Blumhouse on distribution, I think.
And production, isn't it?
It might be. I'm not too sure. All I know is like it's very much like McFarlane doing his own thing and just being like, I just need a studio to do this studio like stuff. Anyhow, and so
if you need to look something up, just let me know. I'll just
because you were like, is it right past 100? So now I'm looking at how many issues of Spawn there are. It's at least 250.
Jesus Christ.
Because the first one that pops up is Spawn number 250. So, assuming there's a lot more. Anyhow, so the first one was bad, and so news just came out where it's like apparently Jamie Foxx has been cast as Spawn, which, like, great actor and everything. I was a little hesitant on simply because Spawn, especially from like the comics and even in the movie, he's kind of he's a bigger guy. He's more intimidating,
Chayton, if you will,
physically. A reference for everyone who, unless you've seen Banshee,
if they haven't seen it,
of the 3 people watching this,
we don't know our numbers yet. This is the first episode.
We also, I don't think I've mentioned Banshee yet.
I've mentioned Banshee. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Definitely during one of our Let's Plays.
100%
during Dark Souls at least a few times. Anyway, if people don't know who Chayton is, first off, watch all of Banshee, and then you'll have 3 things going for you. 1, you'll be a better person. 2, you'll be happy for the first time in a long time, and 3, you'll know who Chayton is. So really, that's a win-win. Watch Banshee. That's your plug.
Anyhow, and so he apparently cast Jamie Foxx. And now, once again, it's like, that character will be mostly CG, so I'm not too worried about it. Like, it's probably more for, like, Jamie Foxx's, like, the voice.
He's got a good voice.
And then, so this came out on IGN on June the 2nd, and it was just mentioning how where there was an interview with Todd McFarlane, and he mentioned how it's going to be more of like he put it as a creep film, and it's from that's from an interview with comicbook.com, and so it seems like it's going to follow the P.I. Twitch Williams instead of Spawn, where Spawn will be more of like the driving force, but it's not going to be necessarily the protagonist of it.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see what it does, especially because all sort of the comic book superhero movies now have been more of like they're action movies with superheroes in them. Mm-hmm. This seems to be one of the first that's going to be like there's a superhero in it, but it's not going to be focused on like here's action and stuff. And like McFarlane mentions where it's like there's no way to be like here's the hero shot of like oh my god look at
look at me on tape.
Yeah, it's going to be like a much more dark, seemingly like noir. Like it's going to be R-rated, but not in like the Deadpool sense of like there's still jokes and stuff. I trust it'll be very much like this is an R-rated for like serious stuff.
Now I haven't clearly haven't seen or heard of anything Spawn related, aside from this movie news here. Mm-hmm. Is he a superhero or an anti-hero? Or is he a villain?
Well, I think technically he's an anti-hero. Like
a Venom?
Well, like an kind of so the whole story, what happens, and I think it's Al Simmons, I believe, was the first. I don't know who Spawn this is going to be. It's kind of passed around a little bit, but Al Simmons is like, I believe that's his name, is sort of the main Spawn. And so what happens is,
Famey Jocks.
He's I think it was Vietnam. Anyhow, he was a soldier, dies, and he makes a deal with not the devil, but like one of the sort of like a higher demon to come back to Earth so he can like see his wife and stuff. But he comes back and he as like and the reason why it's Spawn is he's a hell Spawn, right? So realistically he has all these powers. Like he's got like he can shapeshift. He can I think he can fly. He's got like super strength. All these kind of things. And he essentially does work for demons and stuff. But then he's also like doesn't like to do work with them. So he's
got a heart of gold.
Yeah, it's like he very much has sort of like his reasons for doing things and wants to sort of do the right thing, but at the same time is being sometimes forced to do the wrong. So he very much is like an anti-hero, but I still would consider like he's a superhero because he has powers, but he's an anti-hero because of like what it is, right? Like superhero, I feel is sort of like the kingdom of like you're a hero with powers.
A good person who does bad things.
Yeah, and so it's like the subgenres from superhero would be like anti-hero, hero, like, and so yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they, and to be honest, like I trust Todd McFarlane, so I'm going on good faith of what this movie's going to be.
But now, do you think this movie's going to do well? Because
critically
so far,
or commercially?
Both, really. So far, I think it's probably going to do good critically.
Yeah.
Or like probably more likely it'll do better in the fan service of it all.
Well, and I think that's why it's like, and I don't get me wrong, $10 million is a significant amount. But
when it's small budget,
yeah.
Oh wow!
Like I said, I believe Todd, like McFarlane, the company is like funding it.
Is it getting a theatrical release?
I believe so.
10 million, wow.
I mean, once again, it's like it's still like I said, they just cast like the driving force of it, so it's still a ways away. But from what I understand, it is planned to be like a theatrical, like full release type movie.
Yeah, because aside from a few like. Jamie Foxx is Spawn. I really haven't heard anything about this movie aside from what you've told me.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's one of those things where because it's on a small budget and I think it'll do well. I think it'll make its money back, right?
Well, the $10 million probably won't be too hard.
Yeah. However, what I'm worried about is I think it's going to be a good movie. And once again, I trust McFarlane that he's gonna be like, this is my project and he'll do it well. I'm worried that critically, people are, because it seems like it's gonna be like, this is a superhero horror noir type thing. So I'm worried that it's gonna be,
this isn't a superhero movie. What have you done?
Yeah, people are gonna go into it expecting like Spawn's coming out and he's like making jokes and like no one really dies, and it's like, and then you're gonna see it and it's gonna be like very like dark and like brutal and in your face.
Is Spawn a Marvel?
No, Spawn is, I believe it's indie. I don't think it's part of either. Yeah, because McFarlane owns it. I think it goes through, I want to say no, it wouldn't be Top Cow. I want to say Boom, but I can't remember. They actually might just have their own like comic imprint for like Spawn and the offshoots. But so yeah, it's one of those things of, I hope people go into it with an open mind, being like not expecting what they've seen so far from both DC and Marvel of like, this is what we kind of expect a superhero movie to be, and then they go into this and they're like, holy shit, what was this? And they degrade it because it is so different.
And we kind of become one and the same now.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that that's what happens, because I think it'll be good. I'm worried about that for a critical reception.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, you see the critical reception to most of these Marvel superhero movies now, and
yeah, and like that's a whole another thing to like get into another time. But it's like, yeah,
that's why I'm stopping myself.
Yeah. This from what I haven't read all of the Spawn comics. It's something I've always been interested in, but like I was kind of late to the party type deal, and so.
What time did you show
up? And so what happened is, like, this seems, just from the parts of Spawn that I've read and basing a little bit off of the movie, as well as just what McFarlane said, it seems to be sort of like the opposite of Marvel. And I believe McFarlane's even been like, I'm kind of tired of like superhero, like he's reached fatigue of like what superhero movies are. So it seems like this is going to be such a hard turn from that.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been coming for, it's arguably already 5 years too late.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I feel like even the hype for Infinity War of this year, like,
oh yeah,
when Avengers first came out, that fucking hype was real.
Yeah.
Everyone was fucking pumped. They're like, holy shit, that's Thanos. Oh my god, he's here. And then 10 years go by, or 6, I should say. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, happened. Cool. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, it's...
You put it back 3 years, get rid of all, like, the bad ones, and you've got yourself a real tight schedule. There you go. Get the hype, you're good.
Yeah. Well, I think the issue, too, is they announced movies to like 2020 or whatever, so it's like I feel like that just kind of makes the hype cycle so long it loses something, where I feel like if they were like, by the way, Infinity War comes out next, like
surprise trailer drop.
Yeah.
Boom.
If it was like, hey, Civil War happens or whatever, Ragnarok happens, Guardians 2, I forget which order those, or it was Guardians 2 then Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And there's like the end of Ragnarok or whatever, there's I didn't see it, but there's like a post credits or whatever, blah blah. And then Marvel has like during the Super Bowl or whatever, who knows, they're just like, and next year Infinity War comes out, and everyone like loses their mind. Now you have a whole year of just like everyone's going crazy. But when it's like 2020 or 2012 or whatever they announced it, and they're like, oh, it's Infinity War is coming out in 2018. That's like, people are like, oh, this, I'm so excited for this. And then as it kind of goes on, it's like, oh yeah, but Infinity War, I'm looking forward to it.
And you can predict how all of them are going to go just based on what's coming.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that Marvel Studios, When Infinity War, the trailer dropped, I'm surprised they didn't just look at their entire schedule and just say, forget all those.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll happen, maybe they won't. Who knows? They're not technically green-lit. But even still, when the movie came out, everyone's like, oh my god, but what about this and this? And they're just like, yep, those are happening. It's like, oh, sure. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's...
So Spawn's going to be... you're excited for Spawn?
Oh yeah, it's one of those of... I need to wait to see a trailer to be like... to kind of get a feel to it, but as it stands right now, like... yeah, I'm looking forward to it to see what they can do. Like I said, like, I like McFarlane, so I'm going to trust that he's guiding it on the kind of like the right path. We'll see what comes out of it with like a first trailer, you know.
Do you think Jamie Foxx could put on like 60 pounds of muscle, become huge, and then fill it? Do you think he's got the possibility to do that? Or do you think he's already just too thinly built? He's a pretty thin dude.
Yeah, and like, it's one of those where, and I
don't know when the movie comes out.
I don't think there's like a. I think they had like a rough release date of like 2019. I think I honestly I can't remember, but it might even be like end of 2018. I'm not too sure, and to be honest, like I feel like it was a very loose. It wasn't like. Once again, it's not like they set up a timeline. They're like, this date. See, the hard part with that is that trying to think back of like Jamie Foxx's roles, he's never played a big dude, so I can't see him as one. Like he's always played. He hasn't even. And once again, like I don't know all of his roles, but
yes, you do. Biggest Jamie Foxx fan right here.
He has, to my knowledge, he hasn't even played someone like a fighter or something, where it's like, all right, he had to get a little bit bigger for this role.
What about Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he played Electro?
I never saw.
Oh, he was blue.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, because I think at the end, like, he was shirtless for Django Unchained, and like he seemed to be like
he's in shape.
Yeah,
like he's not out of shape. Even the Robin Hood trailer that came out, he's still in shape.
Yeah, and honestly, like he's always in shape, but it's like Spawn's like pretty bulky. Like he's in that like sort of like Batista realm of like. Well, he's a big dude.
We've seen it through like Christian Bale. He put on like what was it? It was like 80 pounds.
But Christian Bale,
he's
like,
insane.
Christian Bale's not. Humans shouldn't be able to like go from like the extremes he did. Like I watched The Machinist years ago. And I was like, that's scary. Terrifying. This is not no.
Like I thought I was skinny.
Yeah.
See now, here's the thing with Jamie Foxx though. He's still a relatively new actor. Relatively,
yeah,
and I use that term lightly because I think his like one of his biggest roles that got him really started was Horrible Bosses. And that was back. I think that was 2012.
That was a while ago.
It was a good time. It was when Kevin Spacey was still fun.
when he was still a thing, you know.
Remember him just spacing it up? He doesn't do that anymore.
He's a bad person.
Thank you for hitting the nail right on the head there. But so far since his like rise into fame, he's played his roles pretty safe. Mm-hmm. Like they're all relatively similar. Like his most dynamic role I've seen him in so far, aside from Django Unchained, is probably Baby Driver.
Oh yeah,
because he did go pretty hardcore insane with that.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what, I like this. Like this. He's got range.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. Can he modify himself?
I haven't watched it, but I believe he played Ray Charles in.
He did.
Yeah, and apparently that was amazing.
Yeah.
Once again, I haven't seen it. Like that's not a movie I'm really interested in, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, once again, like, I think it'll be mainly like, what it'll probably be is you'll probably bulk up a bit for it, but it'll probably be the 60-75% voice, right? And like you'll see a little bit, right? The face will probably be the same, and that's just like it'll be a lot of CG. I don't know what you're doing, but you should.
Some might say he changes voice like this. Hello, everyone.
I'm Spawn.
God, I'm glad you're the one who has to edit the audio on this.
Is it that loud?
It's pretty loud. It's real bad. I didn't look to see the level it was at.
Yeah.
But it sounded really.
I honestly you've worn one of those before as well. You can't hear anything inside the helmet aside from your own voice.
Yeah, it sounded real loud and really rough. You were right by the mic. So
well, I look forward to editing this. That's going to
hurt. Or
I'll just mute it. I'll get it really quiet. People will be like, "What the fuck did he just say?" And then we'll come back and we'll be explaining this mystery game that's happening right now.
Yeah. So anyhow, so I think that pretty much covers.
So your excitement fibers are at like a 10 right now for Spawn.
I wouldn't say a 10. I'd say like I'm firmly in the realm of like I'm interested and I want this to be really good.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, we'll see what happens.
See, right? I am perfectly undivided right now.
Yeah. Like I'm a big fan of Spawn.
I might be using that wrong. I'm on the fence.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Spawn, so I do want this to be really good.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't have any nostalgia for that.
Yeah.
I don't have any reason to care.
Mm-hmm.
It's a movie. It sounds cool. I've liked everything Todd McFarlane's been saying.
Yeah.
Where, like, following a detective instead of the superhero does sound genuinely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Take a good take on that. Also, film noir. You don't see enough of those. It's been a long time since we've gotten a good
film
noir.
And I'm assuming it'll be, like, in color, but, like, it'll be, like, a lot dark.
Boo! Bad movie. 0 out of 10, not noir.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, film noir is in, like, kind of, like, the tone of it, where it'll be a lot more, like, a darker, sort of grounded superhero.
Kyle was making a joke. It was just a funny. Why you gotta ruin my jokes?
It's because that's just
fat,
what I do.
Isn't it? It's because I'm fat.
See, well, I guess they've seen you, so
nope.
they know you're not.
I'll go back into all the videos. I'll take me out.
Anyhow, so do you want to move on to the next topic?
Well, if I knew what the topic was, I'd love to. Oh my God, Kyle, why don't you explain the topic for us?
Why did you go into an accent, like a weird...
I started kind of turning into a Kermit the Frog kind of thing, and I had to stop myself, because I was like, I can't do this!
That was a weird thing
it's
to
not
just
Kermit the Frog at all.
Slowly slip into.
I started to back up, and then I started to try and swallow, and with that started the voice changing, because you know how I've got this thing where I can move my Adam's apple around and change the pitch of my voice? So I can do that when I'm swallowing too, but unintentionally. I'm sure I've done it in conversation a couple times where you're just sitting there and it's just like, and then down here, and you're like, okay, what's going on there? And he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so.
Are we getting close to the mic? What's going on?
So, this was, I think it became official like May 1st.
Yeah.
But, Saban has.
Saban.
Or Saban? Is it? Okay.
See, I mean, not that I know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, you do. We don't need to pretend.
Don't
need to pretend.
The fourth wall. The fourth wall.
Just so you know, listeners, I showed him and we discussed this before we went on. So
hey, listeners, it's just you and me now. Don't believe the lies that Kyle says. Don't believe the lies.
See, because I know Nick Saban and his name is spelled the same as Saban or whatever. So I've always just referred to him as Saban.
Never heard of this Nick Saban.
He's the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He's won like a million championships.
Well, it's Saban.
Okay.
Florida.
Anyhow.
California.
So.
Steve Carell.
Listen, we have a half hour.
We have 35 minutes.
Anyhow, so they've ended their deal with Bandai, and apparently Hasbro has picked, like, there was a thing on, there were a bunch of different websites that picked it up, but it was essentially Hasbro announced that it purchased Power Rangers and several other of the brands from Saban for $522 million. Now, it seems like of those, Power Rangers was the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, recently with their movie.
Yeah. And so now And I mean, they'll be making toys, the TV series, all that kind of stuff. Like long term, I'm sure
the new Power Rangers TV series.
Oh, they've. I don't think they've stopped.
Oh, is it still going?
I mean, it's not like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's like Power Rangers : I think I was like reading on the thing. It's like now it's like Beast Morphers. It just
is this on cable?
I think there's a few series on Netflix. I don't know if the newest ones are.
It's 2018. I got with the times. I don't do cable as much anymore.
I haven't watched a Power Ranger show in forever. I don't know.
Disagree. We watched one.
We watched the first episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers like months
It was
ago.
real good. It aged real well.
It doesn't show its age at all. No. Anyhow, so like it's a significant investment, sure, and I'm sure like long run they're looking at like toys, TV series. They're like, okay, we're probably pretty good, but I'm interested in what they're going to do with the movie. So we both enjoyed the 2017 Power Rangers.
I would say it's the happiest I felt ever.
It was an amazing movie, especially like a fan. So now but apparently it lost money, and as like it kind of like it seemed like critically by the end there. Actually, I'll look up the story, but it seemed like it didn't do very well critically.
It did all right.
I
think I seem to remember it being like
early on. It was like
wasn't it in like the 70% acceptance rate?
Yeah, but I think it's dropped. Like I think it dropped a bit afterwards.
Is that because people got dumber?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's why.
So yeah, so it's like and apparently the Hasbro CEO has announced that like there will be like new Power Rangers movies. I don't think there's been like a confirmation of like what if it's going to be a sequel to 2017 or if it will be a reboot.
I hope it's
just before we got into this.
Fine.
So of the reviews for the 2017 Power Rangers, IMDb has 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Then it's 44% on Rotten Tomatoes and 44% on Metacritic.
Damn. All right. Well, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just cruise over those bad reviews right there and just say, what the fuck are those people thinking? It had the Go-Go Power Rangers theme song while they're running through the desert. I can't even speaking about it now. I'm smiling. I'm having a good time.
It won the Moment Heisman.
It did.
It was the best.
It did. And if nothing comes close, it's gonna win my personal choice every year for the rest of time. I don't give a fuck what comes out.
Some might even end up calling it the Go Award for that.
Go.
Anyhow,
like Gogurt.
So do you think that they should reboot it or build off of the first one, even though it didn't do great commercially or financially, or commercially or critically?
I think the actors and actresses in the first one did fantastic. Mm-hmm. Particularly all of them. I was gonna say specific ones, and then I don't really remember any of their names.
I mean, yeah, I don't remember the actor's name. I feel like the Blue Ranger killed it. Like he was like,
oh my god, he was so good.
Like the Blue Ranger was awesome.
Oh, Red Ranger was great too.
Yeah, like,
Pink Ranger. Oh, Trini.
I mean, like I'll say they were all great. I think the Blue Ranger was probably the best.
He's my favorite. Yeah.
But like they were all great. Like I said, like I love that movie. It was. Like the one issue I have is like there's just not enough unnecessary flips.
It's true.
That's the one Power Rangers thing.
They really cut out most of the flips.
Yeah.
Also unnecessary equipment, like the power light. Gives you the ability to see in the dark with a flashlight.
Yeah.
Click it on for the power.
But yeah, it'll be
power light.
It'll be like. As like it left off where it's like okay they're building towards something.
Oh, you got the Green Ranger.
Yeah, it's like so. I mean they don't tease like an antagonist necessarily. Like they just sort of tease the Green Ranger and he's kind of like an antagonist, but they didn't tease like here's a big bad. Like this is
you're sitting down.
They're
in detention. when the Green Ranger's back there, he's like, I hate all of you. And they're just like, you're the worst. And he's like, it'd be a shame if I was a Power Ranger. And then he pulls up and he's the Green Power Ranger now. But the whole time that this kerfuffle's going on, there's a TV. And just, it's a trailer for Ooze. Just a little bit of Ooze. And then, what's this?
No, you're trying to do, like, say what I was doing, but you totally went through the wrong way.
No, I'm not, I don't remember what you said. Oh. This is me just trying. I want to get to Ivan Ooze. I want Ivan Ooze back.
See, that's what, like, because originally, like once again, like, okay, cool. Green Ranger's gonna be in it. Awesome. Like, I figured, but yeah, as soon as it ended, we were walking back. I was like, you know, the way that it should have ended. It was them like they're sitting down watching a show or whatever, and like they leave, and as they leave, like a commercial comes on, and it's like, bye Ivan, like as like. Get Ivan's Ooze, or like just like a really small thing, or as just like the face comes up or whatever. It's like coming to a town near you. I would have been like, my God, this like.
I remember it being your plan being like super convoluted. It involved a 5-movie arc. Am I remembering something completely?
You're
different?
probably remembering like a different one that I've got.
Star Wars. It's probably Star Wars.
No,
you're probably talking Menace, and no. you do the big important ones, Phantom Menace and Clone Wars.
You're probably talking about either my idea for like Green Lantern,
might be,
or it was like Green Lantern, Spider-Man, or Transformers.
I might be thinking of Spider-Man. We do a lot of planning, which we'll probably do in later episodes of this very show, the Boxland Broadcast. Coming, you're watching right now.
Yeah. So to get back to sorry, because we haven't addressed the original question. Do you think that they should do a sequel or a reboot?
See, if they did a sequel, I don't know who they'd cast. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need more child actors? I mean, we've got the Stranger Things kids now.
Well, and here's the thing: like, they're not necessarily child actors. They're the like
youngins.
Yeah, they're the like in quotes like high school actors. Where, and that's the thing. Like, I think with the whole buying it, it's like they would either have to do it pretty much immediately to make it so it's like, oh, they can kind of still be high school kids.
Well, if they bought the rights to this movie,
yeah, they own the rights. Like
I know they own the rights to like the product, but does like the people who used to own this movie still get profits from sales from that, or is that also handed over to the Hasbro?
I would imagine probably to Hasbro. Like, I think.
Okay, well then, if they have access, I think they should carry on, even though it didn't make a lot of money. Because I mean, otherwise you're just throwing that under the bus. And why would you throw a perfectly great movie under the bus? Arguably the happiest movie of all time under the bus.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I would like if it was up to me, I would definitely. I agree. It's like, all right, let's, because apparently they had like 5, like
maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's probably it.
Like they had 5 movies planned, but there was no like, here's the through line of these movies and the plan.
I'm probably combining 2 different things. Yeah. See, if they're gonna keep going with this, great. I'm happy. If they're gonna recast it, this one still works as a standalone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay.
And I'm okay with that as well. And to be honest, I think they'll probably reboot it simply because it's like new company. The other one wasn't super successful. They're probably gonna be like, all right, let's like redo this. I know I shouldn't, but I won't be able to stop myself like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Hasbro one because like. But
from the makers of Battleship,
it'll be one. Oh God!
Just know that. Know that the people who made that movie now own that.
But it'll be
I'm
one
pointing at a poster of Power Rangers.
It'll be one of those things of. It'll be compared to the 2017 one, and I'm just.
But I don't know a lot of people who saw it. Like, I saw it 11 times in the theater, but I'm pretty sure I was. At least I would probably account it for 1% of sales.
Yeah.
Which is not great.
But yeah, there's no there's nothing that I can really say is like definitive, like they should do it because of this or they should do a sequel because of this.
Yeah.
It is just it is one of those things of like, because I cared because I enjoyed the 2017 one so much, I wanted to continue on with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, who knows? Maybe they just like they knock it out of the park, right? They're like, oh, hey, you enjoyed the 2017 one. Here's like a better version. I'm like, you know what? It all worked out. I'm just hoping that it does work out.
Yeah.
Right. So,
best of luck, Power Rangers. Are they still called Saban's Power Rangers, or is it Hasbro's Power Rangers now?
I think it's going to be, Saban's. Like
Hasbro's.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
Hasbro's Saban's?
well, because it was like it was like Saban, and then it was like Bandai, or yeah, I think it was Bandai that had the rights before.
Well, they never put Bandai on the poster. Just says Saban's.
Mm.
Like, it does say Saban's right above the word there. You see it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like they own it.
Yeah.
They were just like. So, I think it'll be that, right? Where it's like they've got like their stamp on it, but so we'll see what happens.
All right.
So
that wraps up that topic. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have another thing planned here, or is this where I take my moment? I don't really have a moment. I was just like, do you have another thing planned?
No, I mean we could go straight into the like solo review. If you want.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
By my
okay.
moment.
But then you said you don't really have a moment.
Well, I realize it's not a moment. It's a topic. I should have said topic, but I said moment like a fucking idiot.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I ruined your train of thought. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry you don't have
I'm trying
the
to
best
be
words.
professional. I'm no Trump. I should have studied better at Trump University.
Eating your Trump steaks. Buying your house from Trump real estate.
Oh, what a... Yep.
Getting those sweet SEO terms out there. Anyhow, so let's get to...
Now, there's a new movie. Now, here, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie that's out in theaters right now, and you may have heard of it. It's called Star Wars Solo Han movie. Or who gives a fuck? It's another Star Wars movie. Han Solo's in it. It said... Now, here's the thing, Kyle. I saw this movie.
Yeah.
Did you see this movie?
No, I did not see
You
this
did not
movie.
see this movie?
No.
Oh my god. Well, that is...
I don't know why you're so surprised. We don't have to pretend to be surprised.
What a twist that was that I definitely didn't know about. Kyle...
We don't have to be surprised.
Since we've both seen the movie...
No, we haven't.
What did you think
the movie?
the story was? Would you care to explain the plot to me, Kyle?
So,
for all of the viewers out there who haven't seen it yet?
just...
Also,
All right.
let's put a hard spoiler alert on this.
just so you know, this was all planned. People who are listening, regardless of what knows about it,
This was not. Don't listen to him. This is just me and you again, audience. All right, I'm gonna bring him
All
back
right.
in here. I just want you to know that I'm here to protect you.
So, alright, so this is my prediction of how Solo, a Star Wars movie, goes.
Plot synopsis, go on.
Alright, so it starts off.
Yeah.
No scroll, no nothing.
No scroll? You gotta tell me if you're a Skrull. It's like being a cop.
No, like there's no galaxy far away.
Scroll.
It goes through.
Skrull.
Yeah. There's a scroll.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, scroll is a word.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Alien in Marvel.
No. That's
Tell me if you're a Skrull.
No. Scroll is a word.
I know.
But yeah, it is a scroll.
A text scroll, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
there's a thing where it's like, anyhow.
Listen, I'm savvy.
And so, yeah, so it's like
No text scroll.
none of that. It goes and it's just like it starts off, and it's like young Han and Chewie, and they're just like they're back. They're doing that thing where they're back to back, and they're just like in a forest, and they're being attacked from all sides. They're like pa-cha, pa-cha, pa-cha with their laser pistols, right?
And that's the sound they make.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, I'm so glad we killed him, Chewie, and then like they high five, but they do the Top Gun, like, whereas like they high five and this like, and then they hit on the bottom as well.
Oh, very nice.
Right, because they're best bros.
That makes sense.
Right, like right there, you get them when you're like they're best bros, right?
Well,
and then
it's really
what's this?
The bottom that cinches that.
And it's like, what's this? However, there was, I don't know what they're fighting. You never really see. It's all like shadows around them. Like I said, they're in a forest, right? You just see like beady little eyes, and it's like bang, right? Laser blaster hits Chewbacca right in the chest.
No.
Han's like, oh, you son of a bee, right? Because it's a Disney movie, they can't swear.
They would never.
So Han, bam, bam, shoots twice, kills whatever it was in like the bush, and he's like, Chewie, no. And so he because Han is a survivalist. He like makes like a sled. He puts Chewie on. He carries it through the woods, and he gets to a little house. And what's inside? He like he moves a book on a bookshelf. The bookshelf slides to the side, and Han just like drags Chewie inside where there's like a rebel base, right? Okay. In that rebel base, you know who he meets?
Who?
He meets Lando.
No.
Right? Played by Donald Glover.
Wow.
And so he's like Lando, help Chewie. He got shot, and we were ambushed. And it's like, oh, okay. And so like they bring him in, like Han's like in the room and everything, and as like and they're, what are the like robot? Was there ever a name for like the thing that like replaces Luke's hand? Was there like an auto surgeon or whatever?
Yeah, Metadroid.
Yeah, so it's like they're all those and they're like
it's like a medical unit.
Okay,
yeah.
They're working on Chewie, and then
giving him robot hands just everywhere.
and then Lando walks in. He's like, so what is it? And then the robot doctor, who for whatever reason is wearing one of those like the mouth protector things, despite being a robot and not breathing.
Well, you don't want to get him sick.
Yeah, and he like brings it down and says, "We have lost him." And it just like goes back up, and it's like, oh no! And then right there, like, is it? Who's the lady who is? No, the lady who is like Mon
Mothra.
Yeah, or no,
Mon Mothma.
I don't know how to pronounce it. You know who I'm talking about though?
Yeah,
the
Mon
lady.
Mothma.
That's her name.
Yes.
Are you fucking with me?
No, I'm 100% serious.
Okay. So
this is your moment. I haven't seen this movie.
You have. You said in the beginning.
You're the only one who's seen this movie. You're giving the plot synopsis right now.
So she comes in and she's like, what happened? He's like, he explains, Chewie got shot and he's dead, and then they're like, oh no, ever since the accident, Han has the emotional stability of an 8-year-old. No. He doesn't understand the concept of death.
Oh my god.
And which is now teasing the prequel, right? Right now, this is like the Han origin story. We're about to get the Han origin story.
Oh,
yeah, that's right. Disney, they're like they still won't swear. However, they're like, we're gonna break the mold. There's gonna be death, and this is the first time there's gonna be an origin to an origin story.
Originception.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
And
notice how those words flow so nicely?
And so Lando goes, oh no, I forgot about that. And then he sees a Wookiee who's like standing guard in the sword, and he points at me, he goes, you're the new Chewie. And he goes, what? He's like, shut your mouth. You're Chewie 2 now. You're Chewie. Chewie. You're now with Han. And so Chewie follows Han around, and then he's like, oh man. And then they're like, listen, we saved him, but it cost a lot. He's like, I don't have enough. And then Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
She's like, well, here's how you can pay us back. You're a good smuggler. You can smuggle stuff. And then they do the Kessel Run, and they're like, wow, that was so fast. He's like, yeah, it was. And then they give him the stuff, and then he comes back, and then they're like, oh well, I guess you paid off that debt. They high five, and then but like, and then they're like, oh man, Chewie, do you want to go and like hang out for like 20 some odd years and then go to a bar and shoot some dude? And he's like, and like Chewie's like looking around, he's like about to break it, and then Lando just puts his gun to the back of Chewie's back and goes, you're fucking Chewbacca. You have to do what Han says. And Chewie goes, oh. and then I was like, yeah, and they high five, and then they go on to the Millennium Falcon.
That's pretty. I'm not gonna lie to you here.
Also, on the way out, Lando looks at like Han or what, as just like, he's just like, here's looking at you, kid, and he throws a pair of dice, and it's one of those like slow motion where it's like it like glides through, and everyone's like looking through, right? Like there's a baby with a single tear running down its face, but it's like an alien baby, and so it's like,
it cries
diversity.
stuff.
Yeah, it's It's got like gills that are also crying. It's
Very
weird.
Nice.
And then like Han catches it and goes, finger guns. Like he doesn't just do the finger guns. He says finger guns.
Well, he's got the emotional capacity of an 8-year-old.
Yeah, and so he then like puts them onto his ship and like they fly away. Then like credits roll.
You know what I think? Is it a credit scroll?
No, it's a roll this time.
No. You know what I think the best part about this is that it all sticks together. It's so tight, and that's the thing. Your plot is tight.
Yeah. Now hold on. Do you want to know what bonus prediction?
Oh,
this is what's gonna happen to the origin story of Solo. All right, buckle your buttholes in because I'm gonna take you onto a wild ride.
Click.
So, it takes us way back.
Yeah.
All right. Now you might remember,
like a long time ago.
Yes.
Very nice.
Now you might remember Boba Fett from. Wait, is Boba Fett the older one or is it Jango Fett's the older one? Which was the kid?
Well, what do you mean by the kid?
Like who was
there's purple and then there's green.
I don't remember the colors. It's been like literally.
All right, we're talking original trilogy or the fuck it, I can't say it.
It would have been
Tridge or
it would have been the prequels.
That's Jango Fett.
That's Jango Fett who was the adult in that one.
Yes.
Okay. Boba Fett was the kid.
Boba Fett's
okay. So Jango Fett, right? He's like. So it starts off now, and now you don't know. You don't know this is Jango Fett just yet, right?
Well, this is spoilers then. Jeez, man.
So they're just like driving a car. It's like a guy and a girl, right? And like there's a kid in the backseat. They're just driving a car, right? It's going so good, and then all of a sudden, right? They're like he gets distracted by something. It's just like bang, T-bone, space T-bone, flying car T-bone. All right, they go flying through. They hit like a advertisement for like space hair cream or something. I don't know.
No, space hair cream.
Right, it's like space Coca-Cola because you gotta get that sweet ad revenue. And so right, they hit that. Right, they hit a building. It's like oh no, right, like and so it's like the father like climbs through the wreckage and he like saves his wife. And then he like saves his son, but the son has like a dent in his head, right? And so they take it through. They take him into like the thing, and he's like, and it's just like, and the like the space doctor robot, and he's like, well, I can fix him, but he will have the mental capacity of an 8-year-old for this. And then he's like, what is your son's name? He's like, Han. He's like, he's like. I have to go to find the cure. And then what happens? He becomes a bounty hunter. Originally, his name was like I don't know. I'm sure they'll put like some random name. But yeah, and so it's like then he takes up the name Jango Fett to become a bounty hunter. And then what happens is as he's like hunting this like high priority criminal so he can get money to like restore his son's like emotional capacity. Right, he looks down as like the planet gets blown up, but little does he know that they knew that the planet was going to blow up, so they sent like a capsule full of babies, right? And they sent it out. However, though that capsule got blown up, and Han was the only one that went out, and because he was the only one, he was solo as they caught it onto his ship. Therefore, they were like, "Oh, his first name is Han." There was no last name, and so they're like, "But he was the only one. He was flying solo." And then they were like Han Solo, and they high five because they did like,
the whole best friend high five too.
Yeah, and that's how he learned, and he just like he hung out on like the ship. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So
you know what? Your timeline works better than the actual movie somehow. Thank you for that. You somehow made it more emotionally resonating than the actual movie again.
All right, so. Please now pull back the curtains on this charade and explain what the Solo movie is.
Are you 100%? Were you making a joke there when you said he was flying solo? That's how he got his name.
Yes,
that is exactly how the movie goes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. He shows up to this gate. He's like, "Hey, it's me. I'm Han, and I want to be a pilot, man." And then he's like, "Last name?" He's like, "I haven't got one," even though he's got a dad, so he has a last name. But he's just like, we had a fight, but he doesn't want to get into it too much because it's not like it's an origin story or anything. So he's just like, "I don't have one." He's like, Solo, not like Smith, Solo. Like, I have to imagine this guard.
So what you're saying is my origin story makes more sense than their origin story.
It does, because what Imperial pilot? Like, is he there's no way he's the only one with one name. Like Greedo, what is his last name?
Solo.
It's Solo now. Like, the Solo family tree has got to be fucking expansive because there's so many one-name people. God. Like, Jabba the Hutt. He's a Hutt, but his first name's Jabba, so he's Jabba Solo.
Jabba Solo the Hutt.
It makes so much sense. It's perfect.
Jabba the Solo Hutt.
That's exactly right. This is going to be spoilers, because I don't give a fuck.
Well,
it's not. It's Solo. There's a huge amount of spoilers.
Well, he dies in episode 7.
Chewbacca dies immediately.
So we got my prediction. I haven't seen it. To be honest, I'm not interested.
You did your best.
Do you want to just quickly give your general? Also, Emilia Clarke shows up at some point. Right. She plays young Mon Mothma.
Okay,
that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And so do you want to just give a quick non-spoiler opinion, and then it could be like, this is the hard spoiler cut.
I don't think it's a good movie.
Okay.
It's, in my mind, very poorly written.
Mm-hmm.
All the dialogue seems like it takes all the dialogue from Marvel movies and just is like, what if we just put that in a blender and then just took all just scraps of the dialogues out and then we just put them into random sentences to see if it made sense. And that's kind of what happened. For example, what's your last name? I don't have one. Solo. There's no more to that. That's the whole transaction. I want to be a pilot. Solo. Cool. And then he is Solo, and he really commits to this Solo name that some dude gave him. Also, were you curious where he got his blaster?
No.
Well, you are now. Woody Harrelson gave it to him. That's it. He had a sniper rifle, and then he just took the sniper rifle.
I'm assuming we're now getting into the spoiler part of this.
I mean, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know if this movie. There's only one thing in this movie that's a spoiler.
Do you want to be like...
I'm giving a hard spoiler thing now. If you're interested in seeing the movie and you don't want to know more about it...
stop now.
Or
mute it, keep playing it.
And just look at the picture on the screen.
Yeah, and then...
Imagine what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then come back and listen to this start to finish again.
See how close you were.
Yeah.
Write it down, put it in the comments, and then re-listen to it later. And if you were right, you get a gold star. I will send you one. Probably in a comment. So, yeah, so Han Solo, he's on this planet of Corellia with Kira, played by Emilia Clarke, pardon me. And he's working for an underground crime boss who's a giant worm puppet that looks like Elmo, but just covered in it's like Elmo and Muck, the Pokemon, fucked, and this was the product. It's not pretty, and it's very clearly a puppet. Also, she's allergic to sunlight, so he shoots open a hole. He steals some coaxium, which is super fuel for space things. Which I'm pretty sure the only reason that hyperfuel is written into Solo was because they had to kind of write in fuel for The Last Jedi, because that just threw in fuel all of a sudden. Because seemingly that was never a problem for 7 or 8 movies, pardon me, and then all of a sudden it was a big problem, worst problem in the galaxy. There's a coaxium shortage. So now there's coaxium. So yeah, I forget her name, is Proxima something or else.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's this worm, Elmo Muck. She's like, how dare you try and steal from me? And then he's like, oh, I've got a gun. And he shoots a hole in the sky. And then sunlight pours in. And I have to ask myself, why the fuck she thought that, it's a great place to have, my lair right in the place where there's sunlight everywhere. It's got one roof, but you'd think she'd be, way in there. Mm-hmm. There's no way sunlight's reaching that. But no, she's fine. She's like, oh. And then she starts to burn, and she's like, no! And she disappears. And then... he's like, Emilia Clarke, we gotta go right now. We're gonna go, I have the coaxium, we're gonna go become the greatest, I'm gonna get a ship, we're gonna be Solo and Kira. And that goes, wrong. Because he's not with Kira in any of the other episodes, and no one's ever heard of her. So, that doesn't last very long. Because she gets caught at the gate after he says his name is Solo, or Han, but no last name, because he had a fight with his father that they never explain. Also, did you know that Han Solo speaks Wookiee now?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly in the other ones he is like
he understands Wookiee, but he goes full on. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
He speaks Wookiee.
Yes.
Oh,
I want
okay.
you to you see. And my favorite part about your origin story here was that Chewbacca was always in the picture. Chewbacca's not always in the picture in this movie. You meet him. Now, can you guess where you meet him?
I'm assuming you meet him when he goes past the gates.
No. You're close. Han Solo works for the Imperial fleet for 3 years and then gets thrown into a pit because he was maybe a traitor, because one person said he was a traitor, and they were like, knew it, and they throw, I'm not kidding, that's exactly how it goes, and they throw him in a pit, and then they're like, we ain't fed this beast in 3 days, he's gonna be hungry, and then Chewbacca comes out, and it turns out Chewbacca's been eating people in this hole. And then Han Solo's like, oh my god, I'm in a hole with a Chewbacca. Oh my god, he's gonna eat me. And then he's like, wait, and then they form an escape plan because he speaks Chewbacca. And then he's like, sounds good. And they become best friends right there.
Wait, is his name Chewie because he chewed on people?
No, his name's Chewbacca, but you want to know why Han calls him Chewie? It's gonna be a real plot twist here for you. It's because his name is too long. He's like, what's your name? Chewbacca. That's too long. I'll call you Chewie. They needed to explain.
Is his name Chewbacca because he chewed on people?
That is exactly why. He's like, chew back, chewing on that back of a man. It's about Chewbacca. Chewbacca's in a pit, Kyle, just eating people. Who knows how long he's been down there? But he's been in there long enough that he's resorted to eating people, but not long enough that he's not. He's also open to the idea of totally a fine conversation before murder. And then they get out of the cave, and you may be asking yourself, because I know you were, where did Han Solo get his blaster? And that's when he meets Woody Harrelson, who's playing Tobias Beckett, I think is his name. And Tobias Beckett, he's in this Imperial planet to steal a ship for some reason. You may be asking yourself, why is he going to steal a ship? It's because he needed a ship to go to another planet, I guess. Because they needed a planet. Not a planet. They needed a ship to steal more coaxium for Paul Bettany. Do you know about Paul Bettany? Yeah. Okay. I don't remember his name in the movie. It really doesn't matter. Dryden Voss. I remember. Okay. It matters a lot now. Steals the ship, they go get the coaxium, and then, everyone dies. Except for Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Tobias Beckett. Also, we have a team of people that you kind of meet, and one of them is Tandy Newton.
Oh.
Yeah. She's in it. For a bit. Until she kills herself. On a bridge with bombs. Oh. Yeah. Because, that was necessary. And then, stuff happens. He's like, oh my god, what have you done? And then he grabs Han Solo by the cuffs of his vest, and he's like, listen to me, kid. You can't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone, Han Solo. Hey, Han Solo, look at me. Do not trust anyone, Mr. Solo. And he says, I won't trust anyone, man. And then he immediately goes and puts all of his trust in Kira, played by Emilia Clarke, and he puts all of his trust in Tobias Beckett. And that absolutely does not come back to bite him in the ass at all, because why would it? Moore does the Kessel Run thing. He does it in 12 parsecs, and they make it a unit of space instead of time. Which, I'm sorry to ruin your story, but yes, unfortunately, it is a unit of space, I know. But this is convenient. There's a big old alien in the Kessel Run who lives near a black hole. Now you may be asking yourself, what does a giant squid monster who lives near a black hole eat? I'm glad you asked. Nothing. It's just a big old squid monster by a black hole. And then the skin gets ripped off the squid monster, and they escape using coaxium, which they put in the engine, and it shuts it off for a second, and they go into the black hole, and then they shoot back out because coaxium has a delayed effect. gonna take some time to kick into gear, I guess. Then they meet Lando. Donald Glover was great. Like he was great. Mm-hmm. He really does a great job of capturing like Billy D. Williams.
Oh yeah.
I watched a clip of I don't remember what it was. It was like Star Wars moments or something stupid. And yeah, just listening to Billy D. Williams talk and then Donald Glover pretend to be Billy D. Williams. It's like, yeah, you know what? He does a real good job. And then, you know, Tobias Beckett is like, I was evil the whole time. Tricked ya, gotcha. And then Emilia Clarke. Now this was amazing. Because I'm pretty sure you and I would have been in the same boat had both of us been in the theater. Because Han Solo's like, he gets this coaxium back from the Kessel Run, and he's like, time to give this to Dryden Voss and get paid. Yep, me and my best friend Chewie gonna get all the money, and we're gonna go get a ship. And let me tell you something, he gets to the planet, and what's this? Pirates. They're there, and they're like, hey there, we're not actually pirates, and they take off their helmets, and it's a little girl. She's like, I've been an evil pirate the whole time, I killed all your friends, by the way. And he's like, oh, you killed my friends, but you're a little girl, so it's okay now, for no reason. And then she's like, by the way, we're calling ourselves the Rebel Alliance. Started by a 12-year-old girl in a pirate outfit who killed people for fun. Inexplicably, I guess. And then, so he's like, oh, well, I don't want to work for Dryden Voss if this is the good guys. So he's like, I'll stage a plan. And so he sets up a plan where he's like, I'm going to take the coaxium on the ship, but it's not actually going to be on the ship, but it actually is going to be on the ship. Haha, just a trick. And there's a gun in there. And then, yeah, Woody Harrelson gets up there. He's like, I've been evil the whole time. And then Kira turns around and is like, but I've been evil the whole time. And midway through this, I was really hoping that Han Solo was going to, like, reach over and grab his face. He's like, and I've been Chewbacca the whole time. And then Chewbacca would take off his mask and be like, I've been Chewbacca the whole time. That's really where I thought this was going to go. It did not go that way. It ended with two of the very much, like, I'm not kidding, it's like turning around and being like, wait a minute, kids, this is how it actually goes. It was painful to watch. And then Han Solo shoots first and kills Tobias later. And then Kira kills Paul Bettany, and she's like, oh, I'm the crime boss now. And then she abandons Han Solo because, you know, he trusted her. And then this is the only thing that could possibly be considered a spoiler in this movie. Someone makes a guest appearance at the end. Yeah. I want you to guess. Now here, I'll set the scene for you. There's Kira. She's sitting on this evil ship. The one that Dryden Voss previously owned. And Dryden Voss worked for a guy. He worked for a big bad guy. And yeah, that's pretty much okay. That's all I'll give you. And then a hologram appears, and Kira has a conversation with said hologram. Do you know who it was?
I'm gonna say Count Dooku.
It was not Count Dooku, but because he died. Oh. Not actual, like the guy.
Oh, okay. Dead. I was gonna be like, I mean,
he's not.
Way later.
He'd be dead in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this movie takes place after Revenge of the Sith. I guess you didn't know that. This movie takes place after Revenge of the Sith, before Rogue One.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's gonna be a bad guy.
It is a bad guy.
Okay. Is it Sidious?
No, it's not. That's who I thought it was when they first started the hologram, because it's from behind, and they're wearing a cloak, and... Yeah, okay, you got two. It was Darth Maul.
Oh.
Yeah, he makes an appearance. And for some reason, so the script, and it's truly incredible. The entire time, they never say who it is, because I'm pretty sure that even the writers didn't know who they were going to put in there. It's very clearly staged, like, she's like, hello, sir, and then he's like, hello, I'm Maul. And he addresses the fact that his name is Maul himself. I know that before there was talk of someone who was dressed up like Darth Vader, and supposedly it was going to be him, but then they scrapped that, so they could put Maul in. And writing is very clearly indicative of that fact. She's like, yeah, I'm going to come to you. He's like, good. And then for no reason, he ignites his double-ended lightsaber and just stands there and then puts it away again. I shit you not. He's like, come to me and join me. That's it. That's the whole thing. Also, he's got robot legs, but you can only kind of see them because, you know, they're cut in half.
Yeah.
Theoretically, he's supposed to be a component in either Solo 2 or Episode 9. Because it doesn't make any sense. Because let me tell you this timeline.
Well, because I know I forget if it's the books or whatever, but there was a thing of like he actually did survive like falling through the tube and got like spider legs or whatever.
That's the animated shows.
Yeah, but now because I know when it was like Disney bought them, they cut out like
they
was that part of the canon they cut
was
out? Okay, and they were just like they're just gonna
take it back in, but not spider legs this time, just people legs because spider legs aren't cool. Oh yeah, they're too cool. I don't want them. We don't want to up the game too much.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's just like they're like that's a lot of CG money work, and it's probably just easier to have someone wear green pants.
I just really want spider legs.
Yeah. It would also be cool because it's like I imagine too that it would be like
that would be some interesting fucking choreography.
Well, because not only that, but it's like I imagine that they'd be spider legs, but it's like you could do like he would be able to like stick to walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just like they're like they hear steps and like they turn around, no one's there, and then they look up and fucking wall just like drops from the sky. It's like it ignites and he drops it just like in like a death spin.
Yes, exactly.
Like, fuck yes.
Like that's the Darth Maul I want to see.
It would be like a horror movie, but with Darth Maul.
Because remember in Phantom Menace when Obi-Wan did a front flip over him, and then Maul just kind of turned around and just stood there while he went and then he's like, oh no, and then he falls down and he says no.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's learned from his mistakes. He's spider legs now. He's going to be already on the roof. Yes, you get another Darth Vader kind of scene in the hallway, but also spider legs. Yeah. That sounds amazing. They don't do that though. They have just regular robot legs, and also he likes to just turn on his lightsaber for no reason. I forget. I've lost my train of thought. Maul's in it. Yeah, supposedly he could be the main bad guy in 9, or a bad guy in 9, a component, because there's they set up. Did you see The Last Jedi? No.
That was
That's right. Right. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember. Yeah, he's the main bad guy at the end of this.
I see, okay.
Because little old Snooky Pants is chopped his heads off.
I know pretty much what happens.
I know you do.
Haven't seen that.
So, I get, like, Kira goes off to work with Maul. Han Solo's, like, alone on this planet, and he's like, I'm a good guy now. Also, he gave all the coaxium, which is, like, millions of dollars to the Rebel Alliance, so he, like, self-funded the Rebel Alliance. And yet no one knows who he is.
Who their leader is then, like, I guess I'm going to work with Darth Maul?
No, that's a different girl.
Oh, okay.
That's the leader of the pirates.
Oh.
Is also the leader of the Rebel Alliance. Surprise.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't really make sense. But man, screw it. I ain't one to argue with it. I can't do that. I just had sex.
No.
That's the song I was referencing. It's okay. You'll get there one day. California.
So, anyhow.
Han Solo. So this movie takes place Revenge of the Sith. Now with your timeline that you so famously put to film in the mind, as some have said, how old would you say Han Solo is by A New Hope? In your script.
In
yes,
mine?
In your plot.
Oh no, like
he's a little kid when he gets in that car accident with Jango Fett.
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, it's been forever since I've seen it, so it's like I don't quite remember how old Harrison Ford looked. But I'm gonna say like mid-30s.
Cool. So
maybe 40.
According to Solo, because it takes place right after the Revenge of the Sith, he's already in his 20s.
Okay.
Which means by the time he gets to New Hope, he's in his late 40s, early 50s. which means by Return of the Jedi, he's got to be 60.
Oh, yeah.
Which means
actually more.
Probably
than that,
more than that.
Because Kylo Ren
no. Return of the Jedi is 6.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars 7. Force Awakens. He's in his 90s in Force Awakens.
That was when I looked. I was like, yeah, okay. I got confused. Yes.
Leia is 18. In the first in the Ridge Tridge.
Mm-hmm.
Leia's 18 years old. And that there's 45, 46-year-old Han Solo being like, I'd fuck that for $1 or something. I don't know what Han Solo does because his character is so different now. So yeah, timeline doesn't make any sense. Bad writing. Darth Maul's there, so like maybe that's cool eventually, but it's not right now. Also, the dice make an appearance again. Are you familiar with the dice?
You've explained them to me, yeah.
So they're in Solo now, and in The Last Jedi, Ghost Luke, hands them to Princess Leia before he goes out to sacrifice himself for the greater good. And Leia looks at the dice and she's like, "There's an emotional way to this. These are Han's dice because they were on the ship because that's where he got them. These clearly mean something to Princess Leia. Where did he get them? Maybe some heroic journey of self-sacrifice where Han truly became who he was. Nope, some girl gave them to him." And it was Kira. Hey Leia, here's those dice that Han dated a girl before you, man. Isn't that something? See, I don't get it. If you liked The Last Jedi, and I didn't,
I haven't seen it. So.
I know you haven't.
I know, but they don't know I haven't.
That's a good point. Right.
There's a mic right.
This is the first time. We're getting into this.
I made a brief mention of it. Yes, I haven't seen the Last Jedi. It's on Netflix now, so.
Oh, is it?
Or no, it's on Netflix at the end of June. That's right. So
okay.
I might watch it then, just because it's so divisive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, it's like there's some good stuff, but there's more bad stuff than good stuff. The good stuff is really good. Like there's the fight scene in the throne room.
Yeah.
Which is fantastically done.
I watched that because they put it to I forget they put it to I think it was a Panic at the Disco song.
Oh, really?
And it went really well.
Yeah, that whole scene is amazing. Nope, that's it. Yeah, everything else is no, because Snoke dies in that scene too, and that's really well done too. That is great. Everything else is too. This sucks. Like Casino Planet, I'm pretty sure there's a universal groan.
Yeah, everyone's like, the most positive stuff I get from that is like, Casino Planet was like good concept, bad delivery, like bad.
The prequel
execution.
did hard.
Yeah,
it was like, what did we learn from the prequels? Well, they don't like garbage planets that don't go anywhere. It's a weirdly
trade regulations.
It's all trade regulations, political messages that go really hard, and it's like if they just took a nail, put it on your forehead, and just took they took one hammer, but one hammer wasn't enough, so they got a guy to hammer the hammer that's hammering the nail, and then they did that 14 times. Yeah, because slavery's bad, and so they let you know that a lot, and then Solo, if you liked Last Jedi, all those parts that are kind of being argued about, the dice mean a lot more than that, or Luke's character does work this way because this and this and this, or Han Solo's character arc in 7 works really well because of the movie Solo that's going to come out that's going to really define him as a character. Yeah, it really doesn't, because Solo, the whole thing, his whole character arc is he trusts too much, and that's what lets him down. So obviously his character growth is going to be he learns to trust in a good way. No, trusting someone killed him. Yeah. That's the end of 7. His whole arc is he just trusts too much. And it keeps letting him down. Maybe he'll learn one day. Nope, he died. The end. That's his whole character arc.
And once again, I feel like we're probably getting close to the end of this. But
yeah.
My thing with Solo is the first trailer was bad. I never watched any other trailer. I'm just not all that I like Star Wars. I was just not interested in Solo. But my biggest thing was just it's unnecessary. At no point was he had some mystery, but it was never like at one point Han's like, I can't do that.
Because
and then Luke's like, why not? It's like, I can't get into it right now. And it's like it was never like,
let's
like,
just say there was an
Han,
accident.
how did you get those scars? Oh, no, it was never. It was like he had a few like, oh, here's some interesting backstory stuff. That's probably not enough to make a movie out of. Like, he was not a character that like, I feel like we jumped right into like where he's already a developed character. It's like, nah, he kind of did like he didn't really change too much, but it was like. He wasn't a character that I'm like, I need to know more about him. I got what he had his arc from like the original trilogy to like 7, and that's good. I'm not like I was not left wanting of like, but what about this about Solo? Like,
there's only 2 questions that really warranted a film, and that was how did he meet Chewie? Kessel Run.
Yeah.
But even the Kessel Run in I think it's episode 4 when he's bragging about the Kessel Run, he's like, holy crap, this is the ship that did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Or I think he said 15.
Yeah.
And he's like, 12. And then I think Leia made a snarky comment like, oh, 12. I'm like, whatever dream you're living in, because you're a liar. It's not in his character to be like, yeah, I'm proud of this accomplishment I did. It was kind of like he's bragging a bunch. I don't think that was ever meant to be like, this is a fact, like this is an interesting part of his character. Who gives a fuck if he did this run in 12 parsecs? You establish the base character. He's a good pilot.
Yeah.
You don't need but how is he a good pilot? He's a good pilot because he's a good pilot. Who gives a shit?
I also doubt that there's like a whole thing of like he's like learning to be a pilot. From what I understand, Solo's like he already starts off as a good pilot.
He says, I want to be a pilot. And they're like, good, you're going to train in the armed forces on the ground for 3 years. So he's like, no. And then he does. And then he gets a plane and he immediately is the world's greatest pilot. Kind of like Rey in The Force Awakens, where she just picks up a car and it's just like, phew, 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 through stuff. They took all the stuff that would make the film interesting and then they botched all the stuff that's worth watching. Except for the Kessel Run. The Kessel Run is genuinely shot really cool. Aside from, I don't know why it's really hard to see. The whole Kessel Run is a cloud.
Like there's, it feels like all that stuff. Like once again, like I feel like it's not enough to base like an interesting movie on. That honestly would have been better. If, like, here's the Star Wars compendium, and if you really like diehard fans, you really want to know, here you go. And then for people like me who I like it but I'm not super interested. One day I'll be like, I wonder about this, and I will look up on Wikipedia, and I will know, and I'm fine. I don't need to spend 2.5 hours like watching.
Or make a Lando movie. like as soon as they hired Donald Glover, that was the only thing anyone wanted to talk about. Like, holy fuck, Donald Glover's playing Lando Calrissian. That's a perfect casting choice, and then he nailed it. You get a movie about Lando Calrissian. Because there's much more character dynamic in Episode 5 between those 2 characters than any intrigue in Han Solo as a character.
Yeah, well, and we never got a Lando arc. Like, we got Han's arc where it's like, he's this character, and now he's this character. Like I said, there's nothing that's like, oh, how did he become this character? It was like, Lando, though, is like, he shows us up as like, wait, hold on a second, how did you get to, A, how do you know Han? B, how are you, like...
He's like the king of Cloud City.
Yeah, it's like, how are you in this position? This is... Like, it's not like...
Where did you get those sweet capes?
Yeah, like, most people would be like, oh, Han's just a good pilot. That's how he became this pilot. Like, alright, cool, whatever. That pretty much explains itself.
Yeah.
I don't need to know more. But it's like, it's kind of a bigger deal to become the king of this city. That's, like, a big deal.
Also, the fact, like, when introducing Lando, Han Solo, he's like, I'm just going to call him Han.
Yeah.
Also, Lando calls him Han for some reason.
Yeah. Also, sorry to interrupt, but it's like... Lando is also like a bridge, like he knows everyone. It's like, how does he know Han and Vader? Like, how does he know all these different like...
Well, and that's the intriguing thing, because Han's like, we're going to Cloud City, the only man I trust is there, and they show up and immediately Lando betrays him. It's like, that's a dynamic I want to know more about. Tell me more. Why is Lando willing to sabotage him? But it's also a really long like 12-step plan in order to get like Jabba the Hutt killed.
I would be fine with like 2 Lando movies. Like, you have like the origins, and then have like everything that goes on.
Lando and friends.
Yeah, it's like, and then the second one is just like Lando and like the original trilogy. Like, what did we not see? What are the behind the room deals of like Was it just like Vader calls him up? He's like, "What's up? Oh yeah,
You up?"
like, yeah, that would be an interesting character that, you know.
Hey, it's me, Vades. How's my boy Calrissian doing?
Yeah, it's like, how does he even, like, how does he know who they are? Why are they like?
How does he get that outfit in 6 where he's dressed up as a it's a Jabba guard?
Mm-hmm.
And how does he get that position? How does he do that?
Yeah,
I want to know more.
yeah, it's like he's a super, and that's the thing. Like, there's all these like, I mean, it would even be cool just to get like, here's a Star Wars bounty hunter movie. Like,
it would
leave the Fets out of it. Like, this is like you know, like Greedo and stuff, like all those guys that were like you know, there's a core group of like these alien bounty hunters that would be cool just to be like,
yeah,
hey, here's just a one-off movie of just like this group of like bounty hunters is doing something cool,
like Bosk,
yeah,
who needs to get a pair of shoes because he never wears shoes.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But it's just like, it would be cool.
Bosk solo, Greedo solo.
Yeah, it would just be cool to see like, hey, this movie is going to be a cool movie. It's totally out of, like, it has really nothing to do with the canon. We're not going to shoehorn this in of like, oh, they did this and so the rebels could do this or whatever. No, they're just like bounty hunter. Maybe it's like the Sith hires them and they're like, hey, we need you to kill Maul because he's gone crazy.
That would be genuinely
and
interesting.
Then it's like, you could. Oh, okay. Now I'm actually super into this movie. All right. God,
there's the reason.
I wanted this to end like 5 minutes ago, but now I'm about to go on this whole thing.
I can make this a separate thing.
Okay, so
because I still have to add like the skyscraper thing in too.
So picture this,
yeah.
Right? So it's like yeah, you got like your Bosks and all that jazz. I forget all their names, like Boss Greedo.
You got Boss Greedo. You've got there's a droid, and I want to call him I-88, but I'm pretty sure that's a highway.
To be honest, I only know from watching like
Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, the Lego Star Wars stuff. So it's like, can you imagine like the, you know, one of the high up Sith are like, right? There's a whole like Maul's kind of snapped from being like cut in half. He's like
well,
fuck the Sith.
He's not part of the Sith anymore anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like fuck the Sith. He kind of like is making his own thing. He's like killing everyone. And it's like he like hits a Sith thing just like get some resources, and they're like shit, we have to stop Maul. And they're like, well, we're not going to send our people. Let's send these bounty hunters. Could you imagine like almost like a Predator type movie where it's like you have these bounty hunters that are trying to like
versus
kill Darth Maul. Yeah, and you've got like they're in a planet. It's like this is Darth Maul's planet, and he's just like, and they're like hunting for him. They're like trying to like talk to the locals, and like the locals refuse because it's like Maul's kind of become like this recluse where it's like no one wants to like talk to him or deal with him.
Does he have a team of people or is he a one man?
I imagine Maul would be like, he probably has like a couple close people,
yeah,
but for the most part it's like just him, like, because he, once again, I would imagine that like he's probably like he's now insane and just like hyper like violent and
I imagine
murdery.
getting cut in half would do that.
Yeah, and so he's like there's a few people he still trusts. Like, I would imagine he probably has like close like family that he still trusts.
Well, he's got his brother.
Yeah, but like for the most part, it's probably like the people on the planet just like fear the shit out of him, and like they don't want to talk about it because they're like, well, Maul's gonna find out and murder me in my sleep. And so they're like, and yeah, it's like, could you imagine like they go through and all it's just like you just hear like the spider, they're walking through like a hallway and you just hear like the spider legs like, they're like, where is it? And yeah, it just like comes out and just like fucks one up, and they're like, and like, God, you could make a fucking amazing like Predator type movie with Maul versus these.
Should we work for Disney?
No,
because they would definitely not. Let's go down there, tell them to go fuck themselves, and make the movie ourselves.
Like,
yeah,
like, God, now that I'm thinking, I'm like, that's a really good movie.
You know, I'm gonna jump in here as well because he does have a brother.
Mm-hmm.
His brother should be the quote unquote like beta fight. Because like that's the Darth Maul's the king. He's running the planet.
Yeah. What if it's like this, where it's like his brother's like, oh, I can lead you to him, and then like halfway through, like it turns out it's like, okay, the brother is actually like he's working with Maul. Then it's like they fight, they kill the brother, which like snaps Maul. Like,
see, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think that I forget his name right now. Yeah. It's something. It's like Darth something or other, but he's not a Darth anymore.
No.
him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I know. I know. He's like green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greenish yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that he would be like he's the imposing threat that's
mm-hmm.
kind of like on the surface
mm-hmm.
of this planet. Like they all get there to look for Maul,
mm-hmm.
and they're just like, we can't talk about it. And they're talking to civilians. They're like, we gotta find Maul. Where is he? Like, just tell us where he's hiding. And they're like, we can't. And then like you have his brother come in and just like fucking slaughters some, like just straight up like slaughters one of the people and they're all like, and it's like, oh my god. And that wasn't even Maul.
Mm-hmm.
He said because and you got to do it carefully because you can't make Maul seem impossibly.
Yeah.
You can't make him a Hela,
mm-hmm.
where he's just throwing knives at his hand. You can't do that.
No.
That's not interesting. So you make him just scary enough with his one lightsaber where he's like, I'm gonna get you.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like let's say he escapes. Maybe he's got like a couple other like droids working for him or
mm-hmm.
something. And then yeah, you get to the second act of the movie, and that's the second act of the movie is gonna end with his brother getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when like the fucking like lights go out, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's like Maul's like pulled a planet fucking in front of the sun or something. I don't know. I want some impressive feats of strength.
This is what I think would be like a much more like, alright, how? Because I think once again, I'm essentially being like, this is just like Star Wars Predator, where it's like they show up and they're like, oh, okay, and yeah, it's like maybe like not Maul, but like his brother, or whatever. I think it's like Sionis or whatever.
I know it starts with an S too.
Anyhow, but yeah, it's like, oh, he's, they think that he's the target, so like they're trying to get to him, and like there's a fight, they end up killing him. And could you imagine where it's just like, hey, it's done or whatever, like they kind of like, and then they're heading back to like their ship, and then it's just like, as like they're heading back, it's
Savage Opress.
Okay. Which is like a metal as fuck. But yeah, what if it's like they do that, and then it's like, like they go through or whatever, and they're just like, wow, we're heroes or whatever. Like they're spending the night, and then like and there's like one person's like, oh, so you killed like the Red Devil or whatever, or like whatever they would call me. They're like, what do you mean the red? Like he was green. They're like, oh no. And then like was like, and then all like people just start to like leave, and they're like, oh fuck it, whatever, blah. And it's just like one of them goes back to like check the ship, and is like, and yeah, and then you would have this, one person kind of like goes back and they're like doing everything, and like they hear the and it's just like and it's just like Maul just like fucking like slaughters him. And I once again I want it to be like Predator, where it's like this is like a trophy kill, where it's like he's like in, because I imagine it would be like the robot, where it's like, and it's like this robot like parts are strewn about, like he's hanging parts from like the ceiling or whatever. So it's like the others get back, they're like, what the fuck? And then it's just like, well, we have to get revenge, like we whatever killed him, we're good. And then like they go into the forest, and he's kind of like booby trapped the forest a little bit, and then it's like there's like, it's just like it's hunting them down.
Now hold on, you've lost me here a little bit, because I don't think Maul would booby trap the forest.
No,
you've gone a little bit too Predator here. I don't want to bust your Mauls.
I mean, the Predator never booby trapped the forest. The Predator just like hunted them to the forest.
I don't want to burst your Mauls like balls.
I got
Maul.
it. Yeah. Yeah, like there probably wouldn't be trust. It probably wouldn't be like too trapped. It would just be like Maul like hunts them through, and I think I'm picturing killing all of them.
I'm picturing like a Saving Private Ryan, kind of like storming the beach kind of scenario. Like you got the one guy who goes in and gets demolished, and then they know he's on the ship. And
so I guess the ship wouldn't be big enough.
No, I'm not saying it's big enough. I'm just saying like they're like, if it's parked down in a field or somewhere, and then they know he's on there, so they all take cover, and then it's just like, that's the game. They know he's there. He knows they're out there. He's gonna go get them.
Yeah. See, I'm not really a big fan of the like kind of like standoff type thing. I think it would be better if they're like, fuck, he killed him. All right, well now we have to get revenge. He's like, and once again like, it's kind of playing that game of like, he's just like picking them off one at a time.
So he does kill them all?
Yes, he kills them all. Maul wins. Maul kills all of them.
Well, now hold on. Because Bosk is in the Tridge later.
Mm.
Wait, when is this movie being set? Because this isn't Solo. I just realized we're not writing Solo now. We're writing Bounty Hunters. Which
it can be
there's gotta be a better name for that.
it can be after, like, I don't really know a timeline for it.
Well, if he's in 9, I guess could be whenever.
Yeah. It would be sometime before, especially if, like, it would be sometime before, like, 9.
Let's say inconclusive date.
Yeah. It would just, like, hunt down, kill all of them, and it would be, like, it would just be, like, amazing.
That would be amazing.
And then, now he has a ship, and now he's, like, I can get off this planet.
He's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah. Like, I imagine it would just be, like, you know, however he got to this planet, it was like he doesn't have a way to get off the planet before these bounty hunters showed up, and now he has their ship, and now he can, like, right? Or maybe, like, it's one of those where it's like, because their ship has the thing from, like, the Sith, he now has the Sith location, and he's like,
well, I think he always does, just because he is Force sensitive. They kind of have that communication back and forth. Where it's like, it doesn't even have to be a two-way communication. It's just like, just knows. Yeah,
but it was like, he might not know, like, where their base is.
Well, and that works.
Yeah, so it'd be like, he gets on, like, their ship, and now he's just like, all right, I'm gonna, like, hunt the First Order or whatever they're, like,
you know what
called.
You could do?
What?
Okay, hear me out. You put this movie right in between between Han the movie Star Wars and Rogue One. Mm-hmm. So you got that 20-year gap here. Mm-hmm. There's an Obi-Wan movie that's coming out. Mm. That's got to be the showdown. Darth Maul's going to the Obi-Wan story, because I mean, what better way to have, like, an Obi-Wan movie? Because right now this is the plot for the Obi-Wan movie. A man in a desert looks after Luke. Mm. That's it. No one wants to see that movie. That sounds boring as hell. Yeah. I don't want to see a movie about an old dude.
But listen, it needs to be after Maul, because he's got, like, the metal legs.
But that takes place before Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
That took place just right after Revenge. Okay, yeah. I'm saying this takes place after that.
Okay.
So he's got the metal legs. He's like Captain Spider legs. Mm. And he goes to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's the end of, like, Bounty Hunters. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie, which is, like, that's the face-off between two rivals. And maybe you set up the first half of him being like, let's dive into this. What did he do in the desert for 20 years? Mm-hmm. Like, sure, I definitely have some questions. What the fuck did he do? He apparently learned how to scream at Jawas, because I don't know if do you remember the sound that he makes in the original movie? No, it's like, I'm not kidding. After this, I will play it for you. Just the
after this, sound. I'm going to work out and go to bed.
Oh, well, then never mind. Then I'll play it in the garage. I'll play it real loud. And then you set up that, because that he'd have to be young, so you have to have him all, like, you probably have to have, like, 5 years of him looking after Luke as, like, young Obi-Wan. Mm-hmm. Then Maul shows up, and that's kind of like the second to third act, and then you have, like, the last, like, 20 minutes of, like, and here's what he did for the rest of the time in the desert, and it leads up to A New Hope. Mm-hmm. Luke shows up, he's like, oh, Ben, and he's like, I'm your master, Luke, and then he's, like, old now. Mm-hmm. Played by Alec Guinness. Rest in peace. Who hated Star Wars. Fuck, I really want to see this Bounty Hunters movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so... Should we move on to the next topic?
Sure.
Sounds good. Let's talk about SkyScraper.
So SkyScraper's coming out.
Oh, with Dwayne... baby doll it is.
With Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And he will forever be known in the Republic of Boxland as Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
There hasn't even been the movie The Tooth Fairy here yet. We don't even know about it.
So, the second trailer came out, like, today or yesterday. It was around this time. And, like, I'm not super into movies. I like what I like. Most movies are not what I like. I'm not planning on seeing this movie. However, this movie, like, the trailers have just been a treat. It's
a little bit. It's probably fine. It's getting louder.
You talk.
I will talk. Hello, everyone. Are you a fan of Dwayne The Rock Johnson or Vin The Rock Diesel? Please tell.
Why the fuck were you just talking about SkyScraper? Like,
well, you leave me alone for too long.
I was like, you could. I didn't even say much about Skyscraper. It's not like I've said everything there is to say. I'm like, there's a movie called Skyscraper with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's coming out. There was a second trailer. I got to close a window so no one hears the buzzsaw outside. And you're like, Vin Diesel, who, to my knowledge, isn't in Skyscraper.
What if he was? What if he was The Rock's son?
I don't think he has a son. I think he's a daughter.
He's got 2 kids, doesn't he?
In the trailer, it only really focuses on the daughter.
Nah, he's got 2 kids. In the trailer, there is, because he goes, he's turned back and he's just like, son about who's the best, and then they go, I am, but it's both of them, and that's funny.
See, because in the rest of the trailer, it's just the wife with the daughter.
Yeah.
The son is not part of it.
He's dead. They kill him immediately. Terrorists are like, is this your son? He's like, yeah. Boom, dead. This is your daughter? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm a 1 bullet for later. He puts his gun away.
And so, I just want to predict how this movie... So, just the basic premise of Skyscraper, which I'll bring up because Noah clearly just wants to like talk about this theoretical Vin Diesel being part of Skyscraper. And so it's like, The Rock's a defense guy. Like, he's sees how like vulnerable buildings are. And so there's like a super tall high-tech building, and it gets attacked by terrorists because...
Who'd have thunk it?
To be honest, I think it's something of like, I'm assuming something worth a lot of money that they want. I'm assuming. I don't really know. All I know is then Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like a war vet who has a prosthetic leg from like the knee down.
Yeah.
And his family is trapped and he has to save them and fight terrorists along the way. I guess.
That's how you do it. That's
and
building
so
101.
And so I just want and that just seems to be like the general like premise of it. So now, Noah, why don't you let's discuss how we think this movie is going to go.
Well, predicting movies is tough because there's always millions and like millions of theoretical. Yeah. There's millions and millions of theoretical ways that a movie could end.
Well, let's not speak about the end just yet. This is we're
the whole movie.
Yes, we're going to discuss how this whole movie goes.
You're opening a whole vast new.
We're not going to just discuss how this ends. We'll get to the end at the end. Anyhow,
naturally, The Rock has to start off as The Rock. He was in the war. He meets his wife in the hospital. Yeah, that's in the trailer. We see that.
Well,
they have all the kids. 2 of them, to be specific. One of them dies sometime. He's crossing the street and just ice cream truck just barrels right through him. And he's like, oh no, I've only got 1 kid. I gotta go to this building to tell the building guy that I can't do his building for him anymore because I've only got 1 kid. And while he's there, the building guy's like, hey, check out how big our building is. And he's just like, wow, 265 floors. That's a lot. You're building a great building, but no one's asking the big question. What if it all went wrong? And then I assume that as he's walking out the door, a bunch of terrorists like coming behind him. They're just like, shit, The Rock's gone. Everybody in the building. They all go into the 98th floor for some reason and light it on fire.
Now here's the interesting part. So if you look at like the first trailer, it seems to be mostly like in the building, aside from when he's like on the
skyscraper crane.
Yeah, the crane has to like jump across.
Will he make it?
Which they're teased like, will he make it? It's like,
the second trailer shows that he makes it.
Yeah, it's like we all know he's going to make it.
Even the other like the foot thing that like goes click and he's like, oh no, he's gonna make it, and then he grabs up and he's like, he's totally fine.
But
this one,
the second trailer,
one, though, gun to the head.
The second trailer starts off and he's like it starts off with like, this is kind of like his story or whatever, and then when like the skyscraper's on fire, he has to like steal a bike and like go through the crane. So I'm wondering, how much do you think is The Rock like getting to the crane, climbing up the crane, jumping off the crane? How long do you think it gets before we get into terrorist-filled Skyscraper?
I'm imagining that, like I said before, so far what I've explained is the first 4.5 minutes of the movie, and the terrorists light the 98th floor on fire, and that's when The Rock turns on the TV, and he's like, fuck, that building I was just in 20 seconds ago, because he just walked home. He's like right next door. He's like, that building's on fire.
He lives in the skyscraper.
Oh.
There's a whole thing where like the guy who runs it is like, you're the first family to live in the like.
Oh, I missed that. The volume was real low.
Yeah, he's like, your
so
family
he
lives in the skyscraper.
He walked across the street to get a bagel. Because, The Rock's got to keep in shape, and he eats his bagels. And so he gets a bagel. He turns around, he's like, oh my god, my family's in there. And then he's like, I need to go. And the police officer thinks he's a threat for some reason. Probably because...
Well, I don't think it's that he thinks he's a threat. I think what it is that...
Well, he's clearly being, like, aggravating.
Well, no, it's that... So I'm not sure if you've ever been, like... If there's ever been, like, a fire around where, like, you live and, like, they're evacuating people, they don't let anyone across. Yeah. And it's, like, it's a very hard line of, like, no, because if they let one person across, then all of a sudden other people are like, why did you let him across? Like, I think I've been evacuated, I know once, I think maybe twice, I can't remember. But there was, like, one time where I definitely was, and it was, like, all the, like, people are phoning, and I can hear the cops on the other side, like, being like, get back in your car, like, all that kind of stuff. So it's, like, yeah, I mean, he is, like, my family's there, is like, no, you can't, like, and they have to be strict, because they know that it's, like, if they let someone through, it's, like, it's fucking chaos.
Cops just doing their job.
Yeah.
And so rightfully so, he punches him right across the face and knocks him out, and then he punches another one to the side, grabs a bike, goes right back to the building, and no one else bothers to storm the castle because, they respect the rules. Mm-hmm. Respect the rules the cops set in place. Unlike The Rock, who's so rock-like, not even a cop can stop The Rock. And so The Rock goes in the building, and he climbs up that skyscraper real good. And he jumps. Does he make it? Yes, he does. Somehow. I don't know how you'd grab onto that. Anyway, he grabs onto that, and he pulls himself up. But maybe he falls. But no, he's okay because he grabs back on it again. And then the terrorists meet him, and they're just like, "Hey, is this your family?" And bang, they shoot the son again because they brought him there after the ice cream truck incident.
So you think that, like, he gets onto the skyscraper and is like, boom, immediately terrorists?
Yeah, I think so. I think he, like, lands and he's just like, because I think that door that's closing there as well, I think that's, like, going to be pretty clear after that. And so he rolls, and he's already got his prosthetic leg. Yeah. Because it detached. Yeah. That's my thinking. And so he sticks it in the door, and then he's like, whew, I did it. Gun to the head. And it's like, whoa, is he going to come out of this one? He is, because I'm pretty sure that's in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Yeah. But
it is also one of those where it's like, I mean, because they have his family when, like, he meets them, because he's like, we're taking your daughter.
Well, that's right, because they're clearly up there already. Yeah. So and it's like, he calls them too. And he's like, they're on the.
Yeah. So it's like, I think there's, I mean, I think what happens is that, like, he meets his family and they're like, oh, hey, and then the terrorists show up, and they're like,
yeah, there's a reunite.
Yeah. Then it's like, oh, everything's gonna be okay, and then they're like, no, it's not. And then, like,
guns everywhere. Yeah. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, it's like, you have to.
Is your son? Bang, bang,
bang. So it's like, yeah. So and I couldn't quite understand what they were saying, but it was because where it was like, they need him to, like, get to something. Well, once again, I'm assuming it's just like, here's this.
I feel like it's gonna be that room that's makes everything see-through, and you see it's got to be in there.
Yeah, it'll be, like, near the top or whatever. Yeah. And only he can access it.
It's the very top floor. Yeah. And that's when the Rampage shows up.
So it's like he has to get, because he's the only one who can get it, because he's the defense guy, which is a weird thing that they're like, let's set fire to the middle of this to get to this thing on the top. You would think it would just be like, why didn't they just die-harded and, like, just take everyone hostage until they open it up?
Isn't that pretty much what this movie is? It's just Die Hard, but it's taller.
Well, I mean, kind of, but not really. Because once again, it's like,
it's not just an average man. It is The Rock.
Well, and also, like, Bruce Willis was a cop, not, like, a war vet who, like, is missing it. Like, this one seems much more bombastic than Die Hard. Die Hard was like...
That's what I mean. It's Die Hard, but bigger. Yeah. Not necessarily taller, because bigger applies to many things.
So we've got Die Hard. Like, it's... yeah, I'm just assuming that he goes through and like he eventually, instead of getting this thing for the terrorists, saves his family and then fights through the terrorists to get instead of just leaving.
Do you think he picks it up and he's like, I bet you want this, huh? And they're just like, yeah. And then he goes, oh, and he eats it. And then later,
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out because it's like I don't know if it's one of those things because he like in the second one he's like he puts his family through like I need you to be like strong for me or whatever right now, and like he like sends it down. I'm assuming that goes really far down. Like
I also don't know how they're gonna get out of that because that thing's going real fast.
Yeah. I'm assuming they're gonna use Deadpool logic and just be like they're fine because
they caught it before they touched the ground.
Yeah. So it's like it seems like he gets his family out of there pretty quick, and I'm like I don't know why he just isn't like peace and just leaves. Like he.
Do you think the nuclear codes are in the building? They're all the way at the top.
Probably not.
There's like the detonation briefcase. They flip it open.
There'd be no nuclear codes there.
There's got to be something in there.
I know, which is why I'm like, I don't know why I don't know why he has to get to the top and like, because if the terrorists no longer have his family, unless the part where they're like, we're gonna take your daughter is, like,
maybe they kidnapped his son after he got hit by the ice cream truck. That's why they have one. Maybe. So he's got to send the other two down. That's why you don't see him because they took one.
Maybe.
Now you've got
and then it's true. I suppose that could be it because it is just. I'm not really sure why else he would have to like go through all this, and then I'm assuming he like makes his way to the top, gets it, and then is like either is like double crossed or it is something that's like super valuable and he like it's like in the wrong hands this can hurt a lot of people. I'm not gonna let you do this or whatever. And, like he fights off the terrorists and rescues his son. Yeah. I'm assuming that's what happens.
Do you think his son double crosses him? Somebody's like, let's go. So he's like, no, father, for I. And then he takes the mask off and it's Vin Diesel. That's the relation.
No, father, I'm always something. No, he'd be like, father, I've always been thumping. He'd be like, what? No, and just like he turns around, and is like, I've always been thumping. I also like he pulls off his face and it's Vin Diesel, and then he's like, it's like as soon as he like zips down and full grown Vin Diesel steps out of this like 10-year-old's body. He's just like, now we have to fight. We have to fight. I'm gonna thump you so good. Because they call me Thumper. And then they fight to the death.
That's right, yeah. On the roof.
Yes.
Probably using a helicopter.
Yeah. So of course, the way this movie ends is the way that all of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies end.
Absolutely.
Right? So he fights the terrorists, and the terrorist looks at him and is like, "You'll never stop me. I've planted more bombs at the bottom." And he presses the button and it explodes in the hole. But because this tower is so large, it collapses down. It collapses down, and it's so heavy from being so large that as it collapses into the earth, it starts to split the earth in two.
Totally.
And so, as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he lands here. It's
still, I imagine, crumbling down through the.
Well, no, like it's like collapsed down at this point. He's like amongst the rubble, and it's like you can see it's like the earth is starting to. It's like there's an outer space shot, and you can see the earth starting to like come into two parts.
Starting to Pac-Man.
Yeah, and it's like there's like a convenient scientist number one looks out. He's like, "Oh no, what have you done? The earth is going to split. If only we had a way to close it back up. It's our only hope." And then his family's there, and they see him. They're like, "Whatever your name is, come back to us. We'll spend our last moments together." Like, and then like a single tear rolls down Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's eye, and he looks up. He's like, no, children, I love you, but Daddy's gotta go to work. And then Dwayne The Rock Johnson reaches out with his left hand and he grabs half of the earth. And then Dwayne The Rock Johnson reaches out with his right hand and he grabs the other half of the earth. And then using his biceps, he just curls the earth into himself. And as the earth seals him inside, he screams, I am The Rock! And then it's like the earth is sealed and everyone is like, oh my god, he did it. Oh, we've been saved. And his family is like crying. They're like, he sacrificed himself for us. And that's how, like, all the other Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies end. That is how it ends.
And then, well, with an American flag as well.
Yeah.
There needs to be one right at the moment. Like, he pulls through.
Well, no, they look up just as, like, the clouds part, and it's just, like, the skies become an American flag
yes.
as, like, a dozen bald eagles, like, fly through.
Yeah, that's probably the whole movie.
Yeah.
All right, you don't even have to go see SkyScraper anymore. We've just told you how it goes.
Yeah.
This has been your spoiler-heavy review of SkyScraper coming out July, I think. Right?
I think it's
July 17th.
Because it was like that was like 2 months. Did you say it might be Finding Dory that comes out July?
I'm pretty sure it came out July 17th. Okay. There was a because I remember holding on because I loved Finding Nemo as a kid a lot, and when I heard that they were making Finding Dory, I fucking memorized the shit.
July 11th.
Okay.
And that's in Brazil and Germany. So I don't know when like the North American release is.
July 17th.
It'll be around that time. I'm
gonna hold on.
July 13th.
Ah. Can you do me a favor and look up when Finding Dory was released into North American theaters? Did I get another mosquito bite? I did. Son of a bitch.
I got one on like my pinky.
Really?
I don't know how. Yeah. It's just like along the side here. I've been scratching it so you can't quite see. But I was like, son of a bitch. Finding Dory release date. Or June 17th.
Oh. I'm gonna edit that out. Can you do me a favor? Can you just say July 17th for me for no reason?
June 17th, 2016 was Finding Dory.
Can you say July?
June 17th, 2016.
Repeat after me, Kyle. January. February.
June
March,
17th, 2016. June 17th.
July.
June 17th, 2016. Finding Dory.
July. My name's Kyle, and it came out July 17th, 2016. Thanks, this is Kyle. I think I do a pretty. I mean, I think you do a great impression of yourself, Kyle. That was wonderful. And the best part was you managed to do two voices at the same time. That's impressive.
For the Finding Dory release date,
July 17th, 2016.
So, this has been the shit show. That is the fucking the inaugural
the Boxland Broadcast.
Yeah,
we're pretty proud of this.
So the Boxland Broadcast. If there's anything that you would like us to cover, or maybe ways that we could improve this show, like if we didn't do it anymore, just let us know in the comments. And if you were like, hey, this is how I think SkyScraper is going to end, and if it doesn't end the way that we said it, you're wrong, but we'll listen to you. So thank you, and may the Grand Tsar forever bless your days.